Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy JRB pushes for nationwide ballot access. Robert F. Kennedy JRB was born on January 17, 1954, in Washington, D.C. He is the son of former U.S. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy and nephew of former President John F. Kennedy. As an environmental lawyer and activist, Kennedy has played a significant role in the environmental movement in the United States. He is the chairman and founder of Children's Health Defense, an anti-vaccine advocacy group, and has been a vocal critic of vaccines, often stirring controversy for his stance on vaccine safety and efficacy. Kennedy's professional career began in environmental law and advocacy. He served as a senior attorney for the Natural Resources Defense Council, a non-profit environmental advocacy group. He was also involved with the Hudson River Keeper, working to protect and restore the Hudson River and its tributaries, as well as the New York City watershed. Apart from his environmental work, Kennedy has been a significant figure in the anti-vaccine movement, particularly vocal about his skepticism of vaccine safety, which has led to widespread criticism from the scientific and medical communities. His position has influenced public perceptions about vaccines, particularly around the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2023, Kennedy launched a presidential campaign as an independent candidate after initially seeking the Democratic Party's nomination. His campaign focuses on a variety of issues, but one of his main platforms is challenging the prevailing policies and practices surrounding vaccines in the U.S. Despite his controversial positions, Kennedy has remained a prominent public figure, leveraging his family's legacy in American politics while also carving out his own path that has sometimes diverged sharply from mainstream scientific and political norms. Robert F. Kennedy JRB pushes for nationwide ballot access. At a spirited rally in Des Moines, Iowa, presidential hopeful Robert F. Kennedy JRB demonstrated a unique blend of political rally and administrative procedure, as his campaign organized attendees to engage in a convention-like nomination process for ballot access. Kennedy, an independent candidate, is pushing for placement on the ballot in all 50 states plus Washington, D.C., capitalizing on a growing public desire for alternatives to the likely major party candidates, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Kennedy's campaign, aiming to transcend traditional political divides, has been characterized by both small victories and occasional setbacks since it began. In Des Moines, supporters like Dan Twellmeyer expressed enthusiasm for Kennedy's message of hope, which contrasts sharply with the disillusionment some voters feel towards mainstream political choices. The importance of ballot access cannot be overstated for Kennedy, who asserts that his campaign will secure nationwide ballot access by the end of July. This ambitious goal is critical as it could significantly affect the electoral landscape. According to a recent NPR or PBS or Marist College poll, Kennedy garnered 11% support in a hypothetical five-way matchup, indicating potential to influence the outcome significantly, especially in tightly contested states. Kennedy's strategy includes a rigorous signature collection effort involving volunteers and staff at various public events across the country. This grassroots approach not only aims to meet diverse state-specific requirements, but also demonstrates the campaign's commitment to direct voter engagement. Volunteers have been active at sporting events, college campuses, and festivals, collecting signatures to ensure Kennedy's placement on ballots. Moreover, Kennedy's campaign has sought the support of minor parties in some states, which can offer a path to ballot access without extensive signature gathering. For instance, in Michigan, Kennedy will appear on the ballot under the Natural Law Party, and in California, he's aligned with the American Independent Party. These alliances with minor parties highlight his campaign's pragmatic approach to navigating the complex and varied state ballot access laws. The campaign's legal team, led by Paul Rossi, has been actively challenging restrictive ballot access laws. securing some legal victories that have eased the signature-gathering process in several states. These efforts underscore the campaign's proactive stance against what they view as unduly burdensome barriers to third-party candidacies. Despite these efforts, the road to achieving full ballot access remains challenging. Each state has its own rules and deadlines, which can complicate the campaign's nationwide strategy. Furthermore, the financial and logistical demands of such an extensive ballot access campaign are significant. Kennedy's campaign has emphasized that it has been preparing to meet these challenges head-on, bolstering its operations to ensure that Kennedy can be a viable candidate in the presidential race. In conclusion, Robert F. Kennedy, JRB's pursuit of ballot access is more than just a logistical endeavor. It is a fundamental part of his strategy to reshape the American political landscape by offering an alternative to traditional party candidates. His campaign's efforts to navigate the complex web of state ballot laws and the enthusiastic grassroots support he has garnered reflect a significant shift towards more inclusive and diverse political representation. Whether Kennedy can achieve his goal of nationwide ballot access will be a testament to the viability of third-party candidates in overcoming the entrenched barriers of the American electoral system. Robert F. Kennedy JRB's actions can be analyzed through various lenses, reflecting his complex influence in environmental advocacy and public health discourse. Robert F. Kennedy JRB has been a staunch defender of the environment, dedicating much of his legal career to environmental law and activism. His involvement with organizations like the Natural Resources Defense Council and the Waterkeeper Alliance underscores his commitment to environmental protection. This aspect of his work aligns well with the legacy of environmentalism in the Kennedy family and has been widely regarded as beneficial. Kennedy's stance on vaccines marks a significant departure from mainstream scientific consensus. As a leading figure in the anti-vaccine movement, he has been a controversial figure, especially given his prominence in public debates over vaccine safety and policies. His skepticism towards vaccines, including those for COVID-19, has drawn substantial criticism from medical professionals and public health experts who argue that his claims are unfounded and potentially dangerous. His actions in this area have fueled vaccine hesitancy, which public health officials warn can undermine efforts to control infectious diseases. His actions in this area have fueled vaccine hesitancy, which public health officials warn can undermine efforts to control infectious diseases. Kennedy's foray into presidential politics as an independent candidate in 2024 highlights his willingness to challenge the status quo in American politics. His campaign is seen as an extension of his advocacy, pushing for broader reforms and more transparency in government and corporate sectors, especially concerning environmental and health policies. While his presidential run allows him to amplify his views on national and international stages, it also brings his more controversial beliefs under greater scrutiny, affecting public perception of his other advocacies. Kennedy's actions have contributed to a complex public persona. On one hand, his environmental work has garnered respect and admiration. On the other, his anti-vaccine advocacy has attracted significant criticism and controversy, complicating his public legacy. This duality reflects the broader challenge of balancing advocacy with responsibility, especially when public health is concerned. In summary, Robert F. Kennedy JRB's actions reflect a commitment to certain ideals he perceives as just and necessary, such as environmental protection and questioning authority. However, the impact of his anti-vaccine activism serves as a reminder of the responsibilities that come with public influence, especially when contradicting established scientific knowledge. His career thus presents a mixed legacy of significant environmental advocacy shadowed by contentious public health positions. Please leave your opinion below in the comments section.